Welcome to my 365 podcast series called How to Make a Million. What? How to make a million what? How to make £1 million, dollars, how to make a million of whatever you want. Stay tuned for an action-packed podcast. We'll see you on the other side. And welcome. I'm delighted to be here. How to make a million. How many of you would like to make a million? Now, I'm just so curious when I ask that question. What goes on inside your mind? What is the first words that come into your head? Yes, but, oh yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, but it'll never happen. See, money is such a fascinating subject, and I've got a really incredible relationship with money. How many of you have got an interesting relationship with money? Maybe you love it, you hate it. It's been a teacher to you. Maybe you've got loads of it. Maybe you've lost it. Money is fascinating because does it make the world go round? Well, possibly. I don't know where we'd be without money, but money is a vehicle, most definitely. And I'm not sure about you, but I've had a very strange relationship with money. I never thought I was worth anything. When I was young, I really genuinely thought I wasn't good enough. And I thought there was something really wrong with me. So it's unlikely. This might seem strange, but I didn't realize it at the time. It was unlikely I was ever going to attract abundance. It was ever unlikely that I was actually going to attract money. And of course, one of the things we hear as kids, many of us hear this, money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm not sure if I believe that. I just didn't think I was worthy of money. So that whenever I had money, I don't know what you did, but I spent it. So take a moment. If you want to make a million, I think the first thing you have to think about, okay, well, what is the relationship that you have with money? If money was a person, what sort, describe that, write it down, think, oh, it's just a way of looking at things. And if you want more money, the first thing you need to do is basically look at how you think about money. So if you had $1 million, if you made $1 million, this is a good question to ask. What would you do with it? How many times in your life have you thought about that? I don't know about you, but countless times I thought, well, if I won the lottery, what would I do with it? The reality of the playing field that we're living in right now is there's never been a better time to make $1 million. There are more people making $1 million in 1 to 2 years than there ever has been in the history of man. How are they doing that? Well, in many cases, it's ideas. They're not doing it in the traditional way, in most cases, as in having jobs. They're doing it because there's an entrepreneurial spirit inside them. There's something inside them that wants to move forwards. And I'm not saying it's really, in my mind, I was just saying, but not everyone wants to make $1 million. Of course they don't. Some people are not interested in making money. But I personally am. I'm interested, and I've made an absolute fortune and made some really big mistakes. In fact, I made a lot of money in 2003 when I sold a weight loss product. I had so much money, I didn't know what to do with it because I didn't think I was worthy of it. I just got rid of it. I probably wish now I'd done some different things with the money that I made, but now I've worked on my mindset, and my mindset is one that I attract more money and I believe in myself more. What about you? What about you? Now, the reason I'm leaving some pauses in what I'm saying is this is a really important subject. You have goals, you have dreams, you have ambitions. We all do. Most of those goals, dreams, and ambitions revolve around money. But in order for you to make that money, there's a few things that you probably need to do. One of them is to realize how you're currently thinking. See, the starting point of all achievement is, well, how do you feel about where you are? See, Napoleon Hill, and many people hear me talk about this a lot, Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, that was written in 1937. Once again, if I mention the name Think and Grow Rich, what do you think about inside your mind? What words come to mind? Oh, I don't want to read that. It's about richness. So many people think that when you tell them about this book. It's fascinating just to stop and to heighten that awareness and think, oh, now that's why I didn't read it. It took me, how old was I when I read this? I must have read this 6 years ago. And I've read so many self-help books, but none of those books were about money. And I think that money is a symbol of maybe what you're worth. Again, this won't apply to everyone, and some of you will be thinking, no, that's not me. That's okay. But how many people right now, all over the world, are struggling to put food on their table, are struggling with their jobs that maybe they don't enjoy doing, are struggling to think about how they're going to buy their children presents? Money is a massive cause of stress and anxiety. And by the way, people ask me, which one of your books should I read because I've written 18, and I have to say, well, it depends what you want, but if you're interested in an abundance and growing, I would, especially with richness, not just in money, but in everything, I'd say read this before reading any of my other books. Unless, of course, you're interested in leadership, then I would say read my book, which is coming out soon, Inspirated, which is all about the leader who wants to follow himself, the leader who wants to create other leaders. The gentleman who wrote this book spent 25 years of his life, 25 years of his life, and he wasn't paid to write this book. And he interviewed 500 of the most influential people that have impacted our lives even to this day. People like Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb. Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the phone. I mean, some of you were probably listening or watching to this on your phone. And these people, they had a burning desire. There was something they were working towards. And here, if you're watching this on YouTube, in this book, it actually lists out all of the people that he spoke to. And, success always leaves clues. So the starting point of all achievement is definitely, well, how do you feel about where you are right now? How do you feel about where you are right now? And that's something that probably needs to be addressed. What's your relationship like with money? If you don't address that, you might make money, but if it's a poor relationship, you probably make poor decisions with the money. The next thing is what Napoleon Hill talks about from his 25 years of work, is having a burning desire to do something. Now, one of the things I've really gotten into is something called conscious capitalism. That you doing something to make money, but you're doing it out of a consciousness to make the world a better place. With all the money I have, a lot of that money goes to other people who have jobs, who work for us, and other money that we give to causes and so on and so forth. That personally, I'm not into all of the riches of trappings of people. I've had a lot of those things and they haven't really made me happy, from a very fast car to, I don't know, just things I didn't really need. But that's me. That's not necessarily you. I've kind of realized that, and this is one of the things that Bill Gates has realized, having made so much money, is, well, now what are you going to do with it? In fact, the guy who gave this man the idea to do this book was a guy called Andrew Carnegie, who became the richest man in the world and spent the first half of his life making a fortune and the second half of his life giving it away. So I'm not saying we should make money to give it away, but we can do great things with money. So the first thing, definitely, just to evaluate your relationship with money. If you need to address that, well, I would seriously recommend reading this book, Think and Grow Rich. The second thing is having a burning desire and a conscious capitalism, in terms of, if you want to do something for the betterment of the world and society, you need a strong burning desire, a strong why. Simon Sinek, in his book, It Starts With Why, great book. But if your why is really authentic, that not only do it really pulls something inside you to drive yourself forwards, then it's likely to drive you forwards, especially if you tell other people. Now, as much as there are opportunities out there to build big businesses and do something incredible, there's a lot of competition these days. I mean, how many podcasts are there out there right now that you could listen to? How many people are there that have got blogs or doing videos? And there's a lot of places to get your information from. There's a lot of people who are trying to achieve what you want to achieve. But what's going to be the difference between you and the difference between them? Probably having a strong mind and a desire not to give up. Sometimes we have to change what we do if it's not working. Sometimes we have to ask for help, and that's the next thing. If you want to be successful in achieving whatever you want and making $1 million, you probably need to ask for help. You probably maybe need to get a coach or a mentor. I mean, this man has mentored me, but he's been dead for quite a long time because I read this book over and over and over and over and over again. And look, I've just opened the book to auto-suggestion, which is the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is making positive suggestions to yourself. So I don't think anyone should tell you how to live your life. I really don't. I think that's something you have to work out for yourself. There's too much in the world of people being told what to do. And this is one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about. It's about you should never give advice unless someone asks for it. So I presuppose that you listening to this podcast about money is that you want some advice. And I'm only giving you advice based on what I believe works. I've spent years helping people win Olympic medals and write books and do so many things, break habits, lose weight. But I didn't help many people make money. Well, apart from the last 5 years, because the way I think about money has changed, and I found a vehicle that has helped a lot of people, because that's the next thing. Well, you've got to find a vehicle. You've got to find something that you believe in and perhaps find something that people want. And I think that really is a key here. Something that people want, not necessarily something that people need. And there's a big distinction between the two because unfortunately, we live in a world where people are driven by their wants, not their needs. How many things right now in your life do you need to do, but you won't do them because you don't feel like it? Think about it. What do you need to do? Get on top of your bills? Need to clean the house? Need to, I don't know, what do you need to do? Go to bed? I should be in bed. It's like, I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning, but just wide awake at the moment and fired up about some of the work that we're doing, so I'll probably have a sleep in the day. People are driven by what they want. If you can help to take something that they need and make it a want, then you're on to something incredible. So when we're looking at vehicles, I mean, look, this is one of the most fascinating things that I know in talking about this, that some people will love what I'm saying and others won't, because not everyone loves everything. And when we talk about money, there are many vehicles to make money, right? If you want to make money, well, what could you do? You could buy property and sell it, but good luck in doing that. I mean, you know, it's almost impossible for anyone to buy a house these days, but that's one way of making money. What else could you do? You could invest it in stocks and shares. You could do the lottery, gamble, network marketing. I mean, that in itself, network marketing. There's another thing when you mention to people just those words, some people go, I know what that is. Isn't it one of those pyramid things? Whereas that's what I used to think about the industry. But I personally think the network marketing industry is the best business model in the world for most people. I remember, listening to Richard Branson talk about it. And if you want to take advice from someone who is successful in business and done something incredible, whether you like him or not, Richard Branson's publicly said that the network marketing industry is the industry that a lot of future entrepreneurs will look at, because there's no real investment. You're selling a product or service through a network. And even Robert Kiyosaki, who has written another book I would recommend people to read called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, loves that business model. But I tell you, one of the challenges with that business model, just like any business, is how you do the business, but also how people don't like hearing no from people. We live in a world where we are so obsessed by what other people think. So when we hear a no in many cases, or someone says, I don't like it, I don't like you, we take it personally. But if you believe in what you're doing, because the world is not running out of people, and the world is not running out of people who are looking for an opportunity. My network marketing business is this coffee that I'm drinking, and many people know that. But it's something I'm so passionate about. It's not really the network marketing side of it. It is the product. And again, as I'm saying that, some people will switch off. And now I don't want to hear this because I don't like tea or coffee. Well, hang on a second. How many people do like tea or coffee? How many people? Coffee is the one thing that most people will never give up. 3% of coffee drinkers will ever give it up. Now, do people want coffee? They absolutely do. And what this product is done, it's got this in it. This is a Chinese mushroom. There's over 2,000 medical studies on it. It is incredibly powerful. It's my secret. I've been sick once in 5 years from food poisoning. And this is in the coffee. Can you taste it? No. That is a brilliant idea. And you know what? It wasn't even my idea. It was someone else's. I've just been able to get that product and share it with people. I haven't sold it to people. I know some people probably feel that maybe I have. It's just I'm passionate about it. If I'm passionate about something, I'm going to tell everybody. And I give everyone an opportunity to try the product. And you know what's happened as a consequence of that? Some people have joined my business. And then it's been my business to help those people be successful, because that's how the industry really works. I remember I had a friend who joined another network marketing business 10 years ago, and I know people that laughed at him, and I was one of them. I thought, why is he doing that? The guy's a speaker, the guy's fantastic, and what's he doing? And he's been so successful in that business. I know that you're not supposed to make income claims, but put it this way, he's making sizable amounts of money. And then one of my heroes, a guy called Jim Rohn. You should Google Jim Rohn. I dare you, Google Jim Rohn, videos on Jim Rohn. He is one of the best speakers ever. One of the most heartfelt, incredible human beings. I absolutely love listening to him, as I love listening to Napoleon Hill. And Jim Rohn was in the industry of network marketing. Marketing a product or service through a network. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I'm telling you this because I'm curious as to what you're experiencing when I'm telling you this. Because see, what people do is they pigeonhole things into things that they think something is. So they'll go, oh, I know what that is. It's this. And when people don't know what something is, they get uncomfortable. They get scared. Now, maybe you'll come up with an idea like Uber. Uber was just an idea. It's amazing. They don't own anything. Airbnb was just an idea. There are ideas everywhere. So let's recap. How to make $1 million. Is it possible? Well, of course it's possible. Just look around. There are more people making $1 million in 1 to 2 years than ever in the history of man. The first thing you need to do is you need probably some help, or you need to talk about it or think about it and become aware of your relationship with money. And that's why I love this book, because it really goes into that, around how we think affects everything. That's why it's called Think and Grow Rich. That you change your thinking, you give yourself a chance. I met a man who read this book when he was 15 years old from Liverpool, from a council estate. And I met him, and he set himself a goal, believe it or not, to make 15 million by the time he was 50. And he did it through property. But in the time where he grew up, because he's about 60 now, property was easy to get hold of. But he still worked extremely hard. He just told me he wished he'd written down 150 million, not 15 million. Because some people say you get what you focus on, you get what you picture. I think you get what you believe. See, what you believe is what you picture based on what you feel. A set of chemicals that come about because of what you see. And most of us need help with this. Most of us need some conditioning with this. Another great book, The Secret of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, who I went to go and hear speak. And these people can't do it for you, but they can definitely help you and point you in the right direction so that you can do something incredible. Because if you have that million and it's sitting in your bank account, what are you going to do with it? Maybe you'll buy a lovely house and have a wonderful garden and a wonderful wife and children, but maybe there's something inside you that would also want to do something else with the money to help people who need money, to help other people do what you did. Success always leaves clues. So let's summarize this. You want to make $1 million? How to make $1 million? First off, look at your relationship with money. How would you describe it? Is it a love-hate relationship? Is it, I'm not good enough relationship with money? I don't deserve it. If that's the case, get a book. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Amazing. Read Think and Grow Rich. And go to work, because this isn't a one-time, I've changed. This is probably going to need a little bit of work. The next thing that you need to do, you need to have a big why, a why of why you want to make money. What are you going to do with it? And of course, you need an idea. And the world is full of ideas, so maybe take your time to look around and think, well, what is a good idea? Talk to people, listen to people that have been successful. And then also think into the future, picture yourself, see yourself in that situation. I'm not saying like just do a vision board, because if you do a vision board and you fail to think about the obstacles that are coming your way, because I tell you, some of the obstacles that are going to come your way, if your picture isn't big enough, if your why isn't big enough, you'll give up. I had someone join my business, my network marketing business, 4 years ago in South Africa, even before the business was there. It only just recently launched in South Africa. This is someone who has waited 4 years for the business to open there, every single day, wanting it, seeing this as a vehicle to change his life and the life of people around him, particularly his family, every single day, every single day. And now the fact that it's happened, and already in a few weeks, his business has started to really blossom. It's that burning desire inside everyone. And that's what Napoleon Hill talks about. The burning desire that is in you, that it's in me, that's in all of us. And maybe this is just the first step for you now to go away and pick up a book and start to be curious. Ask a few questions. Look at things differently. If you're interested in network marketing, look at the book written by Eric Worre called Go Pro. And just explore and be curious. Because you can do this, but it all comes down to changing the way that you think. Think and grow rich, think and grow. Because in life, you're only either growing, moving forwards into growth, or you're going back. And I wish you success, and I would love to know, what's your biggest takeaway from what I've said? What is the biggest thing that's kind of, share it. Tell us. If you're watching this on iTunes, leave us a comment. If you're watching this on our website, if you're watching this on YouTube, whatever it is, share this, get this message out there, because it's one of those taboos, isn't it? Money. We don't like to talk about it, but we all want it. It isn't the answer to everything, but it's definitely like green vegetables. You know, you can never eat enough of it. You can never have enough money, maybe, so that you could then do something to give that money back to help others. I appreciate you listening. I thank all of you that have been listening to these. We put them out there. It's a free thing, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you take something away. We'll see you next time. You guys are great. Much love, and wishing you, from my mentor, Dr. Robert Rakowski, a happy, happy, beautiful day.